watch this video unless you're capable of handling an uncomfortable truth about religion, specifically Christianity. Every single story in the Christian Bible, specifically the Old Testament, is taken from ancient Sumerian mythology. The ancient Sumerian gods date back hundreds of thousands of years before the invention of the Christian religion. The ancient Sumerian kings list goes back almost 450,000 years. And the Genesis, the first book of the Christian Bible, is the genetics of Isis, or the genes of Isis, or the generations of Isis. And it has to do with genetic engineering and manipulating DNA. The Garden of Eden, in the first book of the Bible, that was a biolab where they were experimenting, creating different hybrids, different clones, different types of bioweapons. They engineered all kinds of stuff in there, and then they seeded this planet. The human species, our version of it, we are a slave species. They created us to be a worker slave species on this planet. And that's why you have to work all day. It's why you have a social security number and a barcode and a federal tax ID number and a VIN number on your automobile and a driver's license number. It's because your enslavers track and monitor you with these barcodes and these numbers and these QR codes. The same way that farmers put a little tag in the ear of each one of their cattle, it's how they keep track of their herd. And that's exactly what you are to these enslavers. You are like their cattle. You are their property. It's why you have to work all day for money. And it's why most people work all day for money and just barely make enough to get by, which is the definition of how a slave lives. A slave works all day and then gets food in a house and then wakes up the next morning just to work all day, go back to their house, they get some food, and then they repeat that process. And that is how most people live their life, especially the full-time working employees. They work like 80% of their entire life and they get food in a house. And for the most part, the wages that they're paid, the salaries that they're paid, they don't really have much left over to do a whole lot else other than get food in a house, maybe start a family. But even now with the inflation rates, the average person working a full-time job can barely even afford to pay for themselves, let alone raise an entire family. And that is an uncomfortable truth about religion that people need to accept so that we can break free from this system of enslavement, that the humans are actually a slave species, and the gods of the Bible, they were just an alien race that came here from another planet and set up shop and hybridized us.